For example, if you're seeing someone that has a set or a couple pieces before as well, it's usually a challenge of not necessarily getting them enrolled in Cutco, but more about getting them to see the value of having more. So, as far as sets and upgrading them, my ratio was about 40% from upgrading anything lower than a homemaker to homemaker, and that was about 20% from upgrading anyone to an ultimate set. And it usually came from softly promoting like what they have now, but pointing out the differences between what they have now and creating a need for what is needed at the moment. So for the homemaker set, it's usually a matter of customizing. From my perspective, if you want to customize a homemaker set before? No? Okay. Right on. So for customizing a starter set, what you can do, for those of you who here has actually seen someone that has a Cutco knife, please raise your hand. Thank you. So for those of you that see someone that has a Cutco knife, then they already have a very good seed within their hands that you can grow. So even if it's a trimmer, I've upgraded someone to like a whole Cutco kitchen system with just someone having the trimmer. And some basic questions usually when they ask is how long have they had it for, what kind of things they like to use the knife for itself. Those are two really important questions. Especially if they have like just a trimmer and they told you they cook like 5 to 7 times a week. So usually when I ask them, it's like, okay, well, this is your only Cutco knife, what other knives do you have? And that's usually a good starting point, just to create the need for some more Cutco. And from the very beginning, sorry, my mind goes ahead of it sometimes. So very beginning. So, so when you get to a Cutco owner's place, you usually want to remind them what they have and why it's so great. So you should ask them, what do you think of the wedge lock handle, thermoresin, double D, or a Sc3? For example, I even ask them, well, have you seen the penny demonstration before? And you'll be surprised, some people don't do the penny demonstration. And they got a set. Like I've seen someone that sold their starter set, and they'd never seen the penny demonstration. I was like, really? So, I hadn't cut the penny, and I didn't have to do it, but I cut the penny for them. They were like amazed. They already had Cutco. And I usually tell them the story of multiple things that they can do the knife for, or any things that are really popular. So for someone that has a trimmer, I usually try to plant the seed to see if they want more of it. So I just plant the seed of like, they really love the trimmer. They tell them, like, oh, how often do you use the trimmer? Well, like all the time. Well, sometimes I have customers that have like 3 to 4 trimmers, just because they like to use it for different things. Sorry, Cutco system. So, trimmer, petite carver is the next one. So if someone uses petite carver or chef knife a lot, you usually want to look at the very tip of the petite carver. So the reason why they're using petite carver, they're using it at an angle. So if they're using it at an angle a lot of times, they're not actually using it for meat. They're using it for on a cutting board or using a cutting board, or they're using it like on bone, just pushing it down a whole bunch. And then as far as the petite chef or chef knife, you want to like look at how they cut it, if there's nicks in it as well. The reason why those are the 3 main items you look at. If you look at the chef knife for a strap, beginning, you can see how that works. So when it gets to a starter set or a galley set, anyone that owns a set already or has a couple pieces, then really emphasize the forever guarantee. Right? Mention, ask them, oh, do you remember what the steels are used for, or do you remember what the thermoresin is used for? you remember what the nickel civrets are used for? Do you remember what the double Ds are used for? And a lot of times people don't remember what those are used for as well. So you ask them about that. Oh, do you remember what thermal resin is? And then elaborate to them what thermal resin is. The same with the steel. So a little nugget for you guys about the steel and the edge. If you guys go in a case of like 100, there may be like weird things that people mention about steel knife itself. But something that most competitors don't have is the angle of the knife. So most knives, including Wusthof or Sc3, usually have the grinded edge at about 20 degrees or 17 degrees. The knife itself, kind of like this. So main concept is that as the angle gets less and less, then it is able to retain an edge longer instead of just having it wider, where if you sharpen it, it becomes duller and duller as you get to the top. So the Cutco edge has a concave grind. If you look at the picture, you mentioned 15 degrees, especially for people who have like Ingles and Wusthof already. Then that's the main thing emphasizing them. Anyway, reminding them of Cutco features. That's an important part. The next one is telling them what they're missing. Telling them what they're missing. First is reminding them what they have. Second one is you're telling them what they're missing. So for ultimate sets, that's mainly a matter of building more of the lifestyle for basically asking them for any lifestyle decisions they have now, and then relating it towards that. So, let's see, barbecue. Ask them what knife you use to barbecue now. Well, the knife is really great for barbecuing, Mrs. Jones, but it's more designed for like, carving a turkey or a chicken. So, the best knife for this is the Hardy slicer. So, let me give you guys the different knives to promote and how to relate it to the current Cutco selection. Be sure to take a lot of note about these. So the double D edge, for example, on the Hardy slicer, is one of the best features someone can have. First off, if someone has a trimmer, they will love the Hardy slicer. Reason why is it is a heavy-duty knife. It doesn't have to be like a super big cleaver or anything like that to actually cut through chicken bone or anything tough like squash. So that's something that I like to promote as well. So if someone's like, you can tell it's really hurt for their budget, and they, just bought a couple of knives, you can tell that this is used more, that they, so the double D edge barbecue knife, they can really use it because now they can protect the trimmer from being used on them. And you really want to emphasize how the trimmer is not used for that. And it's utilized for a lot of different things. And then compared to the Santoku knife, especially has a shaft knife. So really getting up the story of how it's owned by Rachel Ray, etc., stuff like that. And as far as the Santoku knife itself, just a little side note, if you do customize the set, it's a really good option to promote. It's switching between the petite shaft and the Santoku knife. So when you're promoting the custom set, I like to promote what is like the Harley Davidson. So has anyone experienced like how shopping Harley Davidson's like? Okay. So it's complete customization. So for those of you that like see a lot of like husband by themselves, like wives or etc. like that, or you can tell that someone can appreciate customization, I tell them the story of the Harley Davidson. How when someone gets a Harley Davidson, they can completely customize it, every single detail, and it's catered for a select table. So that's very much how you build up the value of the set, customizing it that way, and then you just compare it towards what you can switch with it. So for those of you who use Vector Connect, which I hope all of you do, make sure you go on there, get the blocks, it shows what you can switch in there as well. And then transitioning into the ultimate set, it's emphasizing how having more than one of a certain type of knife preparing food is beneficial for them. The ultimate set. Now, if I were to share my own personal favorite, that if I had like full compassion and full self-esteem to help someone, I would love it if like everyone could get like a starter set with flatware because it's super shiny. If you go into Macy's, the exact same steel you can look on there is $180 for face fitting. Cutco's is $130, guys. Ridiculous. Exact same. It's guaranteed forever. Plus, it looks super, super awesome, and it's a lot shinier than the stuff you see in Macy's too. So, my personal belief, if all of you can get the flatware, I would definitely say so. Because even if like you're using like some blender or something like that, then at least a spoon or something like that to eat with. And that's my belief. But that should. So I'll get into that flatware ultimate. Flatware is pretty simple. As far as mentioning that, you can go directly into the competition, say it's less, guaranteed forever. And as far as upgrading to the ultimate sets, is differentiating between the different styles of using the knife. Okay, so paring knives. So